Namaskar. I'm going to speak on how residential homes and communes for autism families may eventually become the future for children who are growing up today. We have set up this autism ashram 5 years back. I'll just begin my talk with an anecdote as to how this inspiration to set up a home for young adults came to me. We were into a day center, and one particular young adult, 34-year-old, he used to come to us, and one day his dad came up to me and told me, Kundra Sahab, I want to adopt a 21-year-old young boy. I said, why? He said, eventually when I'm gone, this young 21-year-old adopted son will look after my natural 34-year-old son over the years. I said, what makes you feel that this 21-year-old young boy will look after your natural son? So I said, see, the day your eyes are closed, he's going to open the gates. Your son will walk out. You're a multimillionaire. That young boy is going to enjoy the wealth that you have created for your son. And he said, will that happen? I said, of course. So what do I do? I said, look for a home, look for a group of persons who are into serving such young adults, and where there will be some continuity, there will be some norms, there will be some methods. So both of us, we Googled for two days, and you'll not believe it, we did not find a single home for young adults for autism in India. After 2 days, I told him, Mr. Sharma, I will create a home for your son. And that is what gave me that idea that if Mr. Sharma is thinking of after me what, there could be millions of parents in India who would be thinking of the same thing. So to every parent with a special needs child, and particularly with a child with autism, this after us what is a very big question, and which has literally no answers. So maybe I'm just trying to answer that, and within the short span given to me, I'll try to answer. Most of my talking will be in the videos that I'll present as to how a home for young adults and children with autism makes their life meaningful, makes their life healthier, makes their life safe, makes their life happier. So that is what I'm going to present to you. Now, a little while back, one of the speakers mentioned that young children with autism grow up into adults with autism. So I acknowledge, very rightly said. We always think of autistic children as children only, but these children grow up. And when they grow up, there are a multitude of problems which no parent is willing to face, is unable to face rather. The child becomes taller, the child becomes stronger, the parent becomes frail, the parent becomes weaker. And behaviors, adolescence to young adulthood to later adulthood, a plethora of problems come in, and the parent is not in a position. And that is the time when parents start thinking of as to who will help my child in later years. And I feel today, though there is no registry of autistic persons in India, and with the kind of figures quoted yesterday, 1 in 68, there could be more than almost 2 crore persons with autism in India, and that's a huge, huge number. So what are we going to do about that? And trust me, eventually, residential homes and communes with autism is the only answer, in which these children will continue to lead a safe and happier life. So like I told you, the biggest question is, why should a parent decide on a residential home? When, how, and where? These questions defy answers because no particular parent is willing to take a particular stand. See, I always meet many parents coming to me in Autism Ashram, and I have met two schools of thought. One is, okay, my child can live without me. I am willing to trust my child to live without me, and I will see that he starts living an independent life as much as possible while I am still around in this world. There's another school of thought which believes my child cannot live without me. Or, I would put it in other words, I am not willing to leave my child let go. See, there are two, there is a time when the parent decides that my child after me will not be able to live. Now, this is a wrong notion, and I would like to present to you as to how children and young adults with autism are living a very beautiful life with their parents being away. So I'll start off with, somebody else also said that a picture speaks 1,000 words. I believe a video speaks 1,000,000 words. So I'm going to have a lot of videos. So there we are. I always believe that children and young adults with autism need a lot of exercise. The amount of food they consume, most of them hog. So, and as they eat more, in most homes, it's very difficult for them to take the child for an exercise. Most children with autism or young adults with autism rarely get an opportunity to go for an exercise around their neighborhood. Now, if a child is living in a residential home, you have seen the kind of exercise. I believe that if a young adult with autism has to live longer than the scripted, it's always believed that children and young adults with autism live at least 15 years less than what normal human beings do. That is what is the research that I have recently read about. But we have to ensure that they live a healthier life. And the best way is to make them have a routine where exercise becomes part of their life. Now, many a time we always feel that, I'm sorry. Can you please okay, TK, it's okay then. I'll go to the next slide. This video that we missed was a very beautiful video of children and young adults eating together. Now, that's a great community feeling that they have. And yesterday, like in one of the videos I saw, Temple Grandin talking about turn-taking, you will find it in community living. Children and young adults with autism wait together with a plate in their hand, and then they wait to take their meals, then go back to their seats, and then eat together with a lot of sounds and noises around them, and yet they are able to sit together and eat. A great community feeling, a great community living. And this happens in a home where these young adults and children live together. Now, this is a very beautiful picture which I was just passing by and I could take it. The girl on the left is a profoundly autistic person, totally nonverbal. The girl on the right is a high-functioning autistic young girl. Now, there is absolutely zero communication between them, and you just see the smile and the laughter. I mean, if I could decipher what transpired between the two, it could help me try to understand as to what could have, the communication that could have happened. So that is something, which has happened in the dining hall, both of them sitting together, and then, I was just passing by and I took the pic. Amazing pic, which I just cherish that moment, what they have gone through. I'll just show you something. See, this young boy, Tanmay, I'm sorry, I think. Could you play the video from there, please? I think there's something wrong over there. I think you're not connected all the videos, please. Yeah, please. See, this young boy, Tanmay, I have seen him, he is absolutely nonverbal. But then, one day, while passing his room, I heard him saying, "Ye aaram ka mamla hai." He used to listen to jingles. And here his caregiver is trying to talk to him. And I'll just show you, because of that particular words he used, "Ye aaram ka mamla hai," I realized that there was certain words which he could, speak. That means there is communication in him, which means, I just heard this, and look at what I've done with him. Next video, please. Next video, please. He is singing. On karaoke, mind you. Today there is not a single function held in our facility where he is not one of the singers. So, this talent which was latent in him, we could find it only because he lived with us. So many years at home, his family could not pinpoint and take out this talent. So living in a community, he could get the benefit of somebody overhearing his one sentence, "Ye aaram ka mamla hai," and we then explored his further talents, and this is what he is today. I think you will have to play the videos. You are not connected it here in this. Dekho beta. See, holding hands and walking together, nobody has prompted them to. And yet, because of the daily walk together in the facility, they are just walking together. They may not be talking to each other, but yet, you see, that camaraderie is there, that feeling that we are all together, and evening walks, this is the way they go together. Can you please check if this also... I'm sorry, I think... Yeah. You see this playing music together. All joined us with zero knowledge about music. They would just listen to music. And eventually they started playing music, and there is not a single program we have where this young team of musicians does not participate. Can you please put this on? No? All right, I'm going to speak. And it's sad. So we have a lot of activities lined up for these children. And how many are parents here, please? Can you please raise your hand? So I'm not able to present the kind of, thing I wanted you to see as to how children with young adults with autism are able to live together and live a life of meaningful activities entire day. See, right from morning 6:30 onwards for their morning walk up to 6:30 in the evening, literally as if I put some wheels on their feet, and they spend a very meaningful life over there. And this is the kind of activities which actually keep them happier, because each is identified with the kind of interests they have, and we then try to explore their interests and ensure that they participate in the interests that they are very keen about. So this is something that we have a special unit, vocational unit, where we keep generating opportunities for them. I think, thank you. He is making paper plates. This making of paper plates is not just making paper plates, but it also gives him immense exercise as well. You have a tired child in the evening, a tired young boy in the evening who sleeps well. When the child sleeps well, I sleep well. There's a hot paper, there's a hot plate also around. Very carefully he takes out the paper plate without touching his hands onto the hot plate. So amazingly, understanding that he could get hurt if he touches the... Next, please. Now, we have a lot of parent groups would want to... Okay, all right. This young man, he came to me 4 years back with severe behavioral issues. He's been living with me now for 4 years, and today, actually, he can go back home. But his family is quite happy that he's living here with his peer group. And he's living a life which he likes. You will not believe it. One day when he went home for vacation, his dad got annoyed with him for one of his behaviors, and he apparently shouted at the boy. You will not believe what he did. He went to the Almara, took out his suitcase, non-verbal boy, kept that suitcase in front of his dad. If you can't keep me, send me to Autism Ashram. That is what he meant. So, these boys have found a different home for themselves. So when you create a residential home for these young adults with autism, you are actually giving them a new lease of life, where they feel that they are needed, where they feel that they are wanted, where they feel they can do things that they want to do, and where they feel that they are appreciated. So, like one of the previous speakers was saying that don't try to look at what they cannot do. Try to find out what they can do. And this is what we do. We just try to explore areas of their interest. And this is very important. You and I also do what we really want to do in life. And none of us are doing something we don't want to do. Eventually, we land up in a job that may or may not be to our liking, but we would still want to feel that we would want to do what we really wanted to do in life. But with these children, they choose what they like to do, and they would love to continue to do what they're doing. So, if you're actually planning as a parent to ever think of a residential home, you must let go. There is one umbilical cord you cut at the time of birth, and there's a second umbilical cord you need to cut when you let your child go and live his own life somewhere. So this is very important. As a parent, I know it's very difficult, but then someday you will need to do. Do it when you're around. Do it when your eyes are not closed. Do it at a time when you can explore homes and find out whether they really take care of your child or not. And so that you have the option of shifting a child to a place where he's safe and happier. These are the 4 pillars on which any home should be made, and this is what I believe in. One is the topmost priority for any home that you plan to set up should be safety. If a child is not safe, if a child is physically abused, if a child is sexually abused, trust me, nobody can be happy in that environment. Create an environment where the child will be safe, and that is the place that a home should be. The next thing that is very important, I feel, and which I very strictly follow, is that the children live a life which is hygienic. Their clothing, the undergarments which are directly in contact with them, should be very clean so that they don't have skin issues and other issues. Safety and hygiene are in the top priority of my list, and that is how I follow it. If the child is safe, if the child is living a life of hygiene, then automatically his physical health and his mental health both will be good. Without the first two, the next condition cannot be met. And if the child is mentally happy, if the child is physically in a good place, physically healthier, obviously there will be happiness. And at the end of the day, as parents, what do we say? Kahin par bhi mera bachcha rahe, par khush rahe. This is the way we always think, even for a neurotypical child. So eventually we need to understand that these are the factors that decide that you should put in a home or not. And the last, if you are able to meet a child with all these above conditions, obviously his social and emotional well-being will be ensured. So I think these are the things that you need to understand. Anybody wanting to set up a home for young adults with autism, these are the 4 pillars on which you must set up your home. Minus any of this, trust me, none of the children will be happier, and you will have immense problems on your hands. Can you just play this, please? Since most of you are Bengali, I'm sure you will love this. This is Autism Ashram, the way we have created. We have 9.5 acres, 5 children per acre. That is the concept on which I have gone. Only 5 children per acre. Can you just play the next video, please? So, I want you to understand, we get into a profession because we have a passion for that. But at the end of the day, your passion should lead you to a profession you love, to a work you love. And when you start loving your work, trust me, you're not working. You're living a life of love. Can you please play this video? This is the last video. No, not this, please. The last one. No. Yeah. Yes. No. Let me just see. It's my home, my life. It is there in this thing. Yeah, correct. The video is hardly for a minute, so we have 2 minutes. So, I have been working with children and young adults with autism for the last 35 years. And many of you here, I met a few young architects yesterday, and I found that enthusiasm in them to create something new. And I found that in the talk given by Mr. Somani, that he wants to create something out of the world. And trust me, you need to create something out of the world for these children. Don't create rooms for them. Don't create classrooms for them. Create spaces. You and I go to a resort to live a few days. The children with me live in a resort. The children with me, we go to a park to enjoy a few couple of minutes in a calm environment. The children I live with, they live in a park. All the rooms open into gardens. And that is the kind of life these children are happy with. You create an environment for them. You create a routine for them, you create a structure for them, and you create a diet which is going to help them in the long run to live a life which is meaningful, a life that is healthy, a life that is healthier. Thank you, please. Yeah, please.
छोटी सी चिड़िया है तू, पंख थोड़े से कमजोर है, घबराए हुए हैं क्यों, देख सब की यही छोटी सी चिड़िया है तू, पंख थोड़े से कमजोर है, घबराए हुए हैं क्यों, देख सबकी यही हाल है। उड़ना है तुझे मुश्किल कितना भी हो, उड़ना है तुझे मुश्किल कितना भी हो, हासिल करना है जहाँ कहीं भी हो मंजिल।
दौड़ना है, उड़ना भी है, मुश्किल कितनी भी हो, खोना है, पाना है, मंजिल जैसा भी हो।
मजबूरी है, मुश्किल भी है, नामुमकिन कुछ भी नहीं, तुम हाथ पकड़ो तो मेरा, तूफानों की हिम्मत नहीं। मजबूरी है, मुश्किल भी है, नामुमकिन कुछ भी नहीं, तुम हाथ पकड़ो तो मेरा, तूफानों की हिम्मत नहीं।
बादशाह है तू दुनिया में तेरी, चाहे कैसा भी हो ये जन्नत है तेरी। बादशाह है तू दुनिया में तेरी, चाहे कैसा भी हो ये जन्नत है तेरी। हम अक्सर भागते रहते हैं तन्हाई में, और तू जीता है सपनों के भीड़ में। दौड़ना है, उड़ना भी है, मुश्किल कितनी भी हो, खोना है, पाना है, मंजिल जैसा भी हो।
अलग है तू छोटी सी चिड़िया, मेल नहीं तेरा इस दुनिया से, मत सोच तू इस दुनिया की, खुदा भी रूठा है इस जहां से।